Hey guys, it's Josh from Smithway Customs again. Today we're going to go over kind of where I started off with woodworking and doing it while as I upgrade my shop from my old pegboard to the new wall control system. So I started woodworking probably about 2 years ago in the middle of 2021 when we moved into our new home. My wife had a lot of projects around the house she wanted to get done, and of course it's always cheaper for you to do it yourself than you have to purchase something from, a big box store or having to order something online. So with woodworking, I began doing small projects like you'll see like these shadow boxes and barn doors, and progressively got more and more interesting as I started posting stuff on Facebook and started getting people around the neighborhood that wanted to have projects done. And being that I had started kind of getting some tools and nothing really expensive, which I'll go more into which you should buy. But as people started getting more interested and again using social media as my platform, I began trying to kind of dial in on what it is I wanted to build and what I wanted to work on. And the orders kind of got to where it was kind of where I was trying to play catch up all the time. And so going with pricing, I started pricing my stuff relatively competitively, but learned pretty soon that with the cheaper that you could do it, the more overwhelmed you can become. And so as I began getting more and more of my skills and being able to afford more tools, I started kind of shallowing the amount of people that I actually would follow up with. So kind of getting into tools of what I would recommend if you are trying to start a woodworking business. You don't need the most expensive stuff. You see I still have a lot of Ryobi tools and they do the job just fine. You don't need the most expensive saws or table saws or whatever it is that you were trying to get into. My very first table saw was a DeWalt 8¼ inch table saw. My first sander was a Ryobi. It was a pretty cheap model, as well as my first circular saw was a skill saw I still have to be able to break down some of these bigger slabs. I don't recommend necessarily go out and buy everything under the sun. I would say that if you want to make this a profitable business, try buying as you go, or in turn, have a tool put into the price of the project you're trying to build. Like I started getting a little better, so I started building a lot more stuff with actual hardwoods and not construction grade pine. In doing so, I was able to afford a lot of the newer stuff that you'll see throughout my shop. In the middle of me getting more orders in, I also am a full-time firefighter. So my schedule's pretty awesome right now. I work 48/96, so with 2 days on at the station and 4 days off, I have a lot of room nowadays to be able to squeeze some of these projects into a week or two. It makes it a little bit more easier to manage as well, since when I am home, I have to balance being a dad and also babysitting my kids, and usually it's pretty hectic. But during the times where my daughter sleeps, I usually knock out quite a bit. And the next thing I'll try to recommend is really understanding how long some of these projects do take. It's not an overnight thing, and it's definitely something that if you want to start, learn to manage people's time expectations with being a solo man's workshop. And with a workshop, you definitely want to keep it as functional and as fluid as you can make it. I would definitely say these casters on these workbenches definitely make it easier to move stuff around. So being able to actually create a space that is malleable and will go with about anything that you have going on in your space is going to make it a load of a weight off your shoulders for making it to where if you need to move stuff out of the way and work on the next project while something dries up with this epoxy, definitely work on trying to get to where you can be flexible with the space that you have, since this is only a 2-car garage and half of it's being used as a gym. And it makes it a little bit more hectic when I get some of these bigger slabs in. And it definitely is something that my wife hates, seeing that there's clutter. So I try to take about 1 day out of the month to really break everything down, reorganize, and shops change. And as you buy tools or as you get equipment, you need to make sure that the space is being used to its full capability. And as I said, like with being able to purchase products or tools as you go with different types of projects. I was actually able to purchase my first Festool piece of equipment, which is this Festool track saw. It's the 75, so it can cut down some of that thicker stock. The 8/4 stuff, which makes it a lot easier to get those straight edges. And as you see, like a lot of this stuff that I still have left over from old stuff that I don't really use, like stains and everything, you'll start to accumulate some stuff and you'll start seeing what actually is important. And here's my very first big purchase of a woodworking shop is this Laguna table saw. It is a very good table saw. I wish I could order a saw step, but for my space, I definitely want something that's going to be able to be moving around. This already has casters on it. I would say the dust collection leaves something to be wanted. It does build up quite a bit of dust, and I'm still trying to figure out the best quality solution. So I went back to using the overhead dust collection system. The only thing is it has these back riving knives, which keep the workpiece down, but with overall overhead dust collection, I really haven't tested enough to really see if it's worth it or not, but I'm gonna give it a shot and see how it goes. As my skills progressed, I began taking a lot more risk with purchasing things in woods and materials before I had a client. This is something I would recommend if you're starting out. You have to be able to show people what you can do, even if you don't have that initial customer. It is a risk. It's something that, as you begin any business, the only way to really build a clientele base is being able to trust in your own doings and your own things that you know that you want to do eventually full time. I will say with any business, it's not ever going to be easy, but it's definitely gonna be worth it if you just trust in yourself and trust in the process, even if you don't get those initial messages or the initial people coming in to buy your products. You have to just keep posting. And for me, I don't really post much on a lot of social media, but I'll tell you my biggest wins are I actually post to group pages in my area, like around DFW, into these community pages, and I post every time they have a business day. This is going to be my number one way to say it's free marketing, but also you're going to get these people who won't see it normally just for you posting it to your personal account. Another thing with initially starting your woodworking business, you don't really understand a lot of things at first. There's a lot of information out there on YouTube, on Google, things that you can look up to give you a lot of good reference points that you can, obviously play off of. I would highly recommend, obviously take an account to your own budget. I would say most businesses can start with $1,000. That can get you a good base of tools. They can get you everything that you need to get started. It's never going to be straightforward, as in you're going to do these big epoxy river tables. Your projects have to be something that you want to do. If you start doing cutting boards and you say, well, I hate doing cutting boards now, step away from it, refocus on what it is that you want to do, and be honest with your clients, be honest with the people who you want to take on, and give them something that you will be ultimately proud of when you drop it off. And as well with those clients and with the people that you interact with, remember that they will bring you customers. Be upfront with them. Tell them, hey, I need more work, or this is my way of trying to grow a business. And a lot of times, if you treat a customer right and you build them something that's worth quite a bit of money and it's high quality, they will bring you customers. It's almost been another platform for me as people text me and call me saying that, hey, you built this for so-and-so, can you build me one? Another thing I'll recommend is get really good at taking photos. Learn how to set your settings on your phone and be able to take really good shots to where people can see what it is that you can do, because that'll speak a lot more volumes than just posting on an ad with no image for you to be able to have clients see what it is that you can make. Another thing I'll recommend is use your local competitors as a good platform for you to start off with. Sometimes these local competitors don't want to build something, and that may be something that you could find a niche in. And also you may be able to find access to some tools that you may not have. And the last thing I'll say is just know what you're worth. Don't let somebody cheap you out on a project or something that they really want, and really try to work in their budget. One thing I always ask first is, what is your budget? What is it that you plan on spending? So I know this is a short video and very fast paced, but I just want to thank you guys for just taking the time in your evening or wherever you're at to watch this video and see me reorganize and put some new stuff up on the walls. And I just want to thank y'all again for the last videos interaction, y'all leaving comments, leaving likes, and subscribing. Just keep going, and hopefully it'll keep helping me grow. And if you have questions, please leave them down below. And if it isn't too much to ask, please leave a like, subscribe, and I will see y'all on the next project. And hopefully it's something that y'all will enjoy as well. Thank you.